Well, hello there. I'm the most professional host of all time, and you are, of course, watching Sketching Past Midnight Live. I'm your host, CB Smallwood, the undisputed, unchallenged greatest of all time. We know this all to be true. I'm glad that you're able to join me on this. I don't know what the heck time is it. What time are we looking at here? 2:31 a.m. I've almost got this show back on course. When I was my show usually comes on anywhere from like 2 in the morning to like 3 in the morning. Late at night. I don't really consider it morning, but everybody, whatever. It's 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. And I've been getting up at 6 or 7 in the morning, waking up early. And because of that, I've just not been able to do these around this time of night or morning or whatever it is. And it's really thrown me off. And I can't sleep right now, so it just all kind of evens out. So anyway, let me explain what you're looking at here and give you a run through, kind of like a little bit of a recap. And I promise not to bore you too horribly bad. Okay, you're looking at a character of mine called Hess. Hess is this mysterious character in the world of Wildcat who lives in this small town, and there's a lot of strange stuff that happens around him. And when he rips his own face off or something like that, you kind of see like this demonic-looking form of Hess, And Hess has these little creatures, these little 3 foot, 4 foot tall creatures that are around town doing mischief. These little boogers. They don't talk. They just, I don't know. If you're a fan of like ghoulies and hobgoblin, I don't know, trolls, what's some other 80s references I can throw at you? Critters. The big one that kind of launched it all, maybe, I think Steven Spielberg did it. What is those green things that messed up airplanes in World War II? They would blame it on them. Gremlins. Thank you. So anyway, down here we're looking at some Lovecraftian beast coming through a portal, and this guy, standing there in the light of the portals, like casting that shadow. And this is just me working out ideas, just trying to figure out stuff that's in my head, how it's going to look roughly on paper. And so something like this could be like a big splash page, but laid out a little bit differently. And then an important concept is the key in the tree, and there's a keyhole in the tree. Why is that there? Mystery. And then we go further with it, and got Wildcat being pulled down into the dirt, on a supernatural means, and he's missing an arm where they've basically been trying to murder him and all this other stuff, and this parasite leaps in midair and bites the stub of his arm or what's left of it. Spoiler, that's how he kind of gets his rock arm. It's okay. There's still a whole bunch of Wildcat secrets that are left, a gazillion of them really. And so I think this one is, isn't too spoilery. It is a little bit, but not everybody's going to sit here and watch my videos. Let's be honest, So I think, most people, it's not going to ruin anything for them. Here's the official Wildcat logo. Really like this. I've been wanting to have one forever. And so I finally, have one. And here's some more sketching, me just working out ideas. Let me flip this behind here. Be a little bit more professional. All right, so basically a guy holding a skull. I didn't look at any reference of anybody actually holding anything. I just kind of did it from my head so you can pretty much tell. I've done it from my head. Keyhole in the skull. And I was drawing the key being put in the skull, and you can see that there is kind of like an energy, a light. Sorry, I'm burping. Energy or light that's kind of emanating from the eyes. And then over here, once the key is turned, because now it was in a upright position, and now it's in a sideways position. And you get this full-blown energy emanating from the skull now, and the skull is up, mouth open. One thing that I need to figure out, or I should have done, is have the same thing going on with the nose. Because, if it's just supposed to be like a hollow skull, there's no reason why the light shouldn't shine through the nose too. So that's something I need to work on. I did a rough, really crappy sketch of the key. I don't really like the skull in the key. I feel like I could do a better one, but even if I didn't, this will be fine. No one buys a comic book based on whether or not you draw a cool looking skeleton key. And from there, just me trying to figure out how all that fits together. As I've said earlier, I've got like roughly the first 60 pages plotted out of this Wildcat storyline, which is Wildcat Dead Man Walking. Let me pull that up for you. Not the 60 pages, but the little graphic here. There you go. I'll leave that up so you can gander at it. Get rid of this. Okay, so I'm sitting here drinking Orange Crush. This is the beverage of the night. So I'm just going to sit here and sketch kind of aimlessly. I'm not inking or anything. I'm just kind of free balling it, free spitting it. And I don't think this can be a terribly too long of a video. I just kind of wanted to do one, I guess. I have no clue what I'm drawing. I'm just kind of going with it. So anyway, I hope everyone is doing okay tonight, wherever you are, wherever you may be. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. As for me, I'm sort of tired. Very tired. Let me tell you what kind of a week or two I've had, for anyone that's curious or interested. Starting, I don't know. It's like 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you all know this. Some of you do, and some of you don't. I practice a martial art called Hapkido. Now, since the whole lockdown thing, I've not really, nobody has. Well, most people haven't done much. Been mostly kind of home, and in my case more so because my job didn't really need me through the summer, so there's that. And my Hapkido class, which it's a Korean martial art that does a lot of joint locks and a lot of kicking and just, I don't know, just a lot of stuff, a lot of self-defense stuff. And Hapkido, this martial art, for whatever reasons, class had kind of ended before the whole COVID business. The reason for that was, traditional martial arts today is kind of a hard sell. There's nothing on television that really promotes the stuff, and also there's stuff like there used to be in the 80s and early 90s with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Gosh, there's a slew of them, even though they're not coming to me. You had Rambo and Chuck Norris, or Schwarzenegger. Now, some of these guys are not martial artists. Some of them are. I think I already mentioned Steven Seagal. And there's the Karate Kid movies and Mr. Miyagi stuff. I mean, yada yada yada, on it goes. But in the 90s, that started drying up, and by the time the millennium hit, for whatever reason, action movies just kind of fell out of style. Now, some of you may argue and bring up things like what's that, car movies? There's a bunch of car movies, and I can't remember what they're called. Let me zoom in here. There's a bunch of car movies. Fast and the Furious. What about Furious? Fast and the Furious. There's a couple movies like that. Those are the exception. And then Jason Statham. Jason Statham's like one of the last action stars. One of the newest and one of the last action stars of this wonderful millennium that we live in. So, traditional martial arts have kind of lost their luster, their magic, their mystery, and what people that are interested in traditional martial arts, it always tends to be freaking MMA, mixed martial arts, UFC stuff, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, yada yada yada. I'm not saying that any of that's bad. But like traditional stuff like karate, I don't know, taekwondo, kung fu, which within karate and kung fu there are multiple styles. There's even multiple styles of taekwondo. And then there's multiple styles of traditional Koiryu Jiu-Jitsu, in Japan. Multiple styles of Hapkido. I mean, I can just go on and on and on with this stuff. Anyway, trying to get back to the main point here. And Lord knows whatever that point may be. Okay. See, Dave Hingley writes, "Hey CB, can you tell me how you got your phone set up?" Yeah. I'm not really feeling this drawing anyway. I'll show you. Hang on. Bear with me. Okay, let me zoom out. I'm trying. Is it zoomed out? There we go. So this is a tripod called a Targus TG42TT. I bought this at a Walmart, but you can probably find it online. And this right here did not come with it. I'll try to unscrew it here. Probably shouldn't do that. They give you well, let me screw it back. I'm afraid I'm going to miss my little makeshift show up here. Sorry. But anyway, I don't know if it's like this where you live at, because I hate to make assumptions, but where I live at in gas stations and stuff, or like Dollar General or Dollar Store or whatever they're called, in their little electronics section, they have these selfie sticks. Okay, selfie sticks. So what I did was at the end of one of the selfie sticks, this right here unscrews off. And so I went and took and screwed the head of this onto this tripod. Now, let me tell you something else. Not just for you, Dave, but for anyone else that likes to film crap. This is kind of hard to do with one hand. That, yeah, you see that? Yeah. So that's the cool thing about this, so got that going on. All right, so anyway, this is the stand that I use most of the time when I record my videos. Let me put this back in here. This just snaps back in, and so now I'm hands free. This snapped back in, and that selfie stick head thing I was telling you about earlier, your phone just fits in that, and I put it in there sideways like this. Now, as far as like broadcasting and stuff like that, which I don't think you was necessarily asking that, but I'll answer that too, just in case. I had been using freaking, I keep wanting to say DuckDuckGo, but that's not it. StreamYard. I'm sorry, I'm burping. StreamYard. But I quit using that because I don't have an intro. I can't use my intro and stuff on it. I have to pay for the paid version of StreamYard to put an intro in, to put custom borders in, and all this other stuff. And see, I'm always a guy that likes to use free stuff, and I'm a hacker by nature, not a cracker, and no, not the race, not the racist term. I'm talking about old '90s, old '90s lingo for tech whizzes, no, like a hacker is someone who likes to figure out how things work and try to make them work better, or find shortcuts to make things work better, more efficient. A cracker is somebody who is more of your traditional, what's viewed as a traditional hacker that does the viruses and all this other stuff. But then again, some people take it as someone that tries to break into things, And I guess anyway, what I'm using right now to broadcast through is Prism Live Studio. It should pull up right here as Prism Live Studio, and it's a downloaded app on Google Play. I got it on Google Play. I'm using Android. It's an Android phone. It's a Samsung. And Prism Live Studio is what I'm using. I really like it. I think it's pretty cool. Let's see. Dave writes, yeah, I have a similar setup. I just found it hard to draw around the tripod. Preaching to the choir about free using free stuff. Cool. Yeah, it is very, very hard to draw around the tripod. So basically what I do, it's got my notepad here, and I pan down and I put it right to the border. I try to make sure that both you can't really see because the camera's off view here, but in this corner, I have both edges of the tripod touching the paper. And then I've got this one back here toward me. And basically, my face, like my head is 1 inch away from my phone right now. And I don't know, sometimes I look through my camera, and other times I just kind of turn my head to the side and I draw. And I think it's one of the reasons I have good audio quality is because I'm literally 1 inch away from my phone. But it works out good that way. But like if I'm being really hot, heavy, and serious, and I don't want to make mistakes, I can't do it. I cannot record and draw and talk and chew gum at the same time, So for when I start getting hot, heavy, and serious into what I'm drawing, I usually have to just record another day, because it's more important for me to kind of get what I'm doing right. But now stuff like this, where I'm not too serious about it, or even if I am, I have the use of my eraser. I can, it works out all right, I guess. But I was thinking about being a cheapskate, and I was thinking about going to Lowe's or some lumber like company, and you can get PVC pipe, different sizes. I wouldn't need something big, but like PVC that's probably an inch to half an inch in diameter. And I'm thinking about buying me like two big 6 foot long sticks or whatever. I don't know what size they come in. And well, let me show you. I'll show you what I'm thinking. Because that's I don't know what that's about. Let's say, like, hypothetically, I go to Lowe's and I buy me one stick, and I buy me another stick. Let's make this one look a little bit more accurate. It's not nice to beat the host to what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Well, about 6 foot, 6 foot. Maybe might need a third PVC pipe. And I'm not thinking, okay, so from a side view, connector, PVC, I guess PVC, and then maybe, I don't know, yeah, well, somehow connect that with some PVC joints, okay. All right, so I guess from a side view, build something about like this. Let's see, about a foot and a half. We're going to say about, yeah, I think that would be right. One, which I don't know what it is in European measurement. about 1 human foot and a half in height. And this would be the side view. And then looking down, top view, I guess, would be something like that. Yeah, but it would need some stability, so I might have to have a bar that's kind of high above. So let me redesign this just a little bit. Put a bar up here because I may not want to do bars across on the bottom, but this would be like the top view or something. Erase that. So these little bars would be going that way. Okay, so yeah, this is top view. And so you would lay your phone right here. Okay, and this would be an empty hole right here. This is all PVC pipe. And these things right here, these would be setting off camera, so you wouldn't even see them. I've got it kind of roughly in my head what I would do, but I would have to kind of play with it. But I feel like 2, maybe 3 6-foot tall pipes should be able to get the job done. Yeah, that's the theory anyway. And I feel like that would be so much better because right now with the tripod in the way, it does kind of limit how serious I can get with my drawing. But even still, then I don't want to bore people to death, because the more serious I take my art, the harder it is for me to kind of talk and do a show at the same time. So anyway, going back to my original point, I was talking about martial arts. I was talking about doing martial art, Hapkido. Everything had kind of dried up there for a while, and yeah. So I got back into Hapkido here recently, training, and I've discovered something, and it's something that I really don't like. It's really troubling me to no end. And starting roughly about 2 weeks ago, I had, let me zoom in here. I don't know what I'm drawing. I was training, and it's at this new location, and the building's very hot, and I don't really do well with the heat anyway. I'm very, very much a winter person, you know. And as I'm training, we were practicing break falling, which is basically you just fall down to the ground and you break your fall. You learn to land safely on the ground. And I don't know how to explain it to anyone that might not be familiar with martial arts, but break falls are not bad like how it sounds. But anyway, I was practicing that stuff, and I was having trouble keeping up, and I was getting very, very hot and out of breath, and I got to the point to where I was consumed by heat, and I had to sit down. And see, for me, this was very embarrassing, you know, very, very demoralizing, you know, because on multiple levels, because I'm I'm a black belt in Hapkido, just a first degree, you know, kind of like a beginner's black belt, I guess. I don't know, but still, you know, when you're a black belt, you're supposed to set the standard for everybody else that's below your belt. You're supposed to kind of lead the way, you know. And here I was, and I had to sit down, you know, because something was telling me in my gut, something's not right. You know, if you keep going, keep pushing yourself, something's going to go wrong. And I don't know what that was going to be, but my intuition was kicked in, you know, 100-fold. And so I listened to it. I sat down for a good long while, and then I got back in it and kept going. Then I had to sit down again a couple of different times, actually. So after class was over, you know, I was a little demoralized. You know, nobody said nothing, you know. Nobody was whatever about it. Nobody caused me no grief over it. But, you know, I felt bad about it. And it was just this odd feeling because I never experienced it before, you know, because, you know, I'm a pretty big guy. You know, I'm either 5'11" or 6 foot, somewhere in there. You know, everybody says 6 foot, but I don't know. And I have a good healthy build, with the exception of my stomach, which is like ridiculously huge, you know, pot belly. You know, so I've always been kind of, you know, a big boy. And but I've been a healthy big boy, you know. And 2 weeks ago, that was the first time in 10 years. Started Hapkido in 2008. I did martial arts before then, but in 2008 is when I started in Hapkido. So it's been over 10 years that I've been training in it off and on and all this other stuff. And here I am, you know, having to sit down and stuff. And I've never done that. You know, I've went to class sick. I went to class injured, you know. And from memory, you know, maybe at least once. I don't know. I might not even be that much. And here I was 2 weeks ago, and I had to do that. Now, to add to the story, I'm building up to a point. Sorry. You know, during that class, I had ripped my pants. It was my second pair of pants since coming back to Hapkido that I had ripped. I'm very notorious for ripping my gi pants. It's not like I'm ripping them like Hulk Hogan or nothing like that. You know, I'm just reaching at my groin and going, oh, I don't, you know. Maybe I should do that. Maybe that should be my gimmick. But gimmicks aside, I don't know what it is. Maybe I get the wrong size gi pants or something. But I had a pair of gi pants that I've had for like almost 30 years. And they've been my go-to gi pants because every time I get new gi pants, they always tear. But I always had those old reliables, and they finally ripped on me. I ripped a pair of jogging pants 2 weeks ago. You know? What the frig? So I ran out of jogging pants. What do you do? So between feeling ashamed, demoralized is probably not the word, but it's close to it. Feeling ashamed and stuff of having to sit down in the middle of a class, catch my breath to get relief from the heat. And I got these ripped pants, which I'm not ashamed to have ripped pants in class, but I don't want to show up with ripped pants on. But if they rip in class, it is what it is, Wrestlers can wear panties in front of millions of people, so, I'm not ashamed to have my panties showing when I'm training. But, out of respect, you don't want to come in with old raggedy looking pants that are ripped open in the crotch. So anyway, building up, fast forward. So I had to miss like two weeks worth of Hapkido classes. I only go once a week. And basically, it was due to the fact that I forgot to get money out of the bank to pay my dues, and also I needed to buy a new pair of pants. And I hate all these not regulations, but I guess it's the same thing. All these new rules about going in the store. It doesn't mean that I disagree with these new rules, because even though I feel like for the most part the COVID thing is we're in a good place with it now. I still feel like these rules and regulations are necessary, but it doesn't mean that I like them. Doesn't mean that they aren't necessary, but they are necessary. But it doesn't mean I have to like them. There we go. I feel like I got that all mixed up somehow. Whatever. You'll just have to figure it out. So anyway, fixing collarbone. What the hell? What in the world? I don't know what went wrong there, but none of that. No. I don't know what is going wrong here, but I am fixing this. This is not acceptable. That anatomy was going into a very interesting place, and I'm not ready for that type of interesting. I'm not there yet. And by the way, I now have 15% left on my phone, so I know this is going to be a short broadcast anyway. This is the Moody Blues, sketching past midnight, because that's just where we're at. So anyway, lots of excuses why I couldn't go to the last 2 Hapkido classes. And then I went back yesterday, done some training, and I still had to sit down some, off and on. It wasn't as bad as the first time. I coped with it better than what I did. But I have to say, though, it's still, very humiliating, very embarrassing, for someone that's supposed to be a black belt to, be going through that. I mean, if another black belt went through it, I wouldn't look down on them or nothing like that, because the way I look at martial arts is you're not competing with the person beside you. You're competing with yourself to be better than what you were yesterday. And I carry a lot of that philosophy with me in art, Even though I do set up little competitions in my mind with other people because it's fun, it's motivating and stuff. But at the end of the day, I try to keep in mind that I am me, and I need to focus on me and I need to focus on being the best me that I can, you know. So anyway, so that class yesterday was a little bit better, but it was still rough. And I just don't feel right. For the past 2 weeks, I just feel a little extra winded than what I normally do. Lack of energy. It's weird, and I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if it's just where I'm gotten fatter, maybe, or my cardio's lacking. Maybe I'm getting close to 40. Maybe I don't know. You know, I don't know. It's bothering me. You know, and I don't want this to be the new normal. You ever hear people say that? When something breaks and you're supposed to kind of get used to it and learn to work around it, they call it the new normal. I don't want this to be the new normal. That would be most unfortunate. Anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at in my head right now. Not feeling very confident. Don't feel very good at all about stuff. All right, let's figure this guy out. I think it needs to be something like that, maybe. So I'm just all kind of thrown out of whack between getting up early in the morning, which I don't like, and me just feeling down about the keto stuff, and not just feeling down, but physically feeling different. It's I don't like it. I don't know what to make of it. If you came here to get cheered up, you've come to the wrong place, my friends. Because this show is yeah, it's that. And it is absolutely not episode 3, by the way. I have no idea what episode this is. Episode 1 million. Currently have how much percent? 13% left on the phone. Let's give this guy some eyebrows. I think he would appreciate it. Actually, the eyebrows are already sort of indicated, because technically, you know, to get that kind of shape, I think the eyebrows have to kind of rest on top of the eyelids to create that type of dynamic. But we're gonna break the rules of God and man here, and we're gonna put these eyebrows on top of that. An extra dynamic. So let's see. Let's get rid of this diving cap. Let's get that off of his head. I think I'm going to give him the good old Rob Liefeld treatment here. So let's put some fire flames here. And it's not actual fire flames, but whatever. I see. I'm trying to study Brett Booth here lately, and I haven't got I haven't actually sat down and really done it. But one thing I noticed is, Rob Liefeld does these squiggly things for hair. These fire flames. I've not seen him do this in a while, but he did this really hardcore in the 90s. If you look at his character in Young Blood, I think it was Shaft. I think that was his name. He would do that for his hair. But anyway, freaking Brett Booth does something similar nowadays, where he does these oddly shaped triangles. I don't know what they're called. These little diamond sort of patterns of hair. I think it looks really cool. I may have to borrow that. I haven't figured out how to do it yet, so I'm just kind of I'm just having fun figuring it out. Kind of looks like basically Brett Booth draws pom-poms, the things that cheerleaders have. He draws that for hair, and it looks awesome. And then he fills in the gaps with a lot of lines that seem to have a rhyme and reason to them, So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can make this make sense. Maybe. I don't know about that, but kind of looks like a freaking plant. Like he's growing a chichilla on his head. All right. Disdain Comic says, "Is the Wildcat Digital comic still coming to me? Sent to the is blah, blah, blah. I'm trying here. Is the Wildcat Digital comic still coming to those who signed up for it, or has that been scrapped?" Well, I will make sure that you get a Wildcat Digital comic. There's something that I've been working with somebody on for a while now, but I have to talk with them over about it, But one possibility is what we're doing with Wildcat in private could end up being something that could be the free digital comic. I'm also thinking about doing just some wild off tale of Wildcat, like a script either off the top of my head or using Lucifer Storm's script that he did for Wildcat and drawing that, or having somebody else draw it and let that be the free digital comic. And there's also, what's my phone telling me here? I got 11%. And there's one other possibility, thinking about doing a web comic where everybody can just, get the free stuff there. And the thought is, I can build up an audience. And then once I get my audience built up, I can try to do an Indiegogo again. My main focus on is trying to do really good art, trying to get better as an artist. And listen, Despain's Comics, don't judge me on this drawing. I'm experimenting here. I'm not using reference or anything. I'm just goofing. I started out trying to do Liefeld type hair, and then I remembered how Brett Booth does his hair. So I promise that whatever I do, it's going to look better than this. But no, that's kind of where I'm thinking at. My main thing is I just want to make sure that whatever I hand off to you guys is quality. It's good. And it's also has to be something that I'm 100% happy with. That I can say that without a shadow of a doubt, I gave it my damnedest. That I can't go back and look and think, well, I draw, like hypothetically, let's say like this was in a Wildcat comic, and I think that sort of passes for her, whatever. But there's something still gnawing at me that this hair don't look quite right. And if I left that in a Wildcat comic and I was like, well, that will pass, To me, at this point, that would be unacceptable, because if I know in my gut something don't feel right about this hair, I don't want to leave it in. And so it's not just the art; it's also the writing. It's everything. So I want to make sure that whatever I get to you, whatever I get in your hands, or you see digitally or whatever, it's good. And I also worry about first impressions, because Wildcat's a character that's very near and dear to my heart, and I don't want people to see my first major work in the world about Wildcat and think, like, and not be the best that it can actually be, and then have people think like, well, I don't know about this, and then when issue 2 or the second trade comes out, if I ever get to that point, I want more people to get it, not less. So that's one way of looking at it. Everybody has different ways. Now, originally my train of thought was, I'm just going to keep working and keep putting comics out. That sort of thing, because you're going to get good. You're going to get better as time rolls on, without a doubt. But the thing is, you can't even see what I'm drawing here. But the thing is, if it's something that's really important to you and you have all the time in the world, shouldn't you put all the time in the world in it, instead of just drawing at a really quick pace to move on to the next thing? So it just really depends on you. I know you wasn't asking that question, but there's different philosophies about it. You can Jack Kirby it and just keep churning out artwork like a superhero, and putting out ridiculous amounts of work every month or every couple of months or whatever, and you just get good issue by issue. Or you can take your time and really get into it and then put out something amazing, but it takes a while. But that wasn't your question. No. I hope I answered your question about the digital comic. I want to put something out there, definitely. It's not been scrapped, but I really need to get my stuff together and get it figured out. Which I'm open to suggestions too, because I'm not right about everything. But despite this being kind of a bummer sketching past midnight episode with all my, look at me. I'm a suffering artist. Besides all my narcissism here or whatever, I did feel kind of upbeat about stuff, and I really like the artwork that I'm turning out with Wildcat. I really like the story that's coming together. How it's, fleshing out in a very nice way. And, God, look at that. Nope. See, this is one of the disadvantages of having a tripod in your face. You can't see when things are going all wrong. Gee, yo. What a torso in this guy. This is not what I envisioned at all. Tighten him up just a little bit. I should have... There we go. That's what I'm working with right there. Much better. Kind of drawing Silver Streak here, my version of him. I can't remember how the SS logo looks on his chest, so I'm just going to leave that blank for now. Don't want nobody to accuse me of drawing. Well, it shouldn't matter. It's a freaking superhero. Okay. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up, and any last minute questions, I'm welcome to take them. And I kind of have to wrap it up anyway because I got like 8% left on my phone. But I really, Dispain rates. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm terrible. Yeah, man, makes sense. I think when you're ready, a short digital sample Wildcat would increase the appetite of readers. No hurries, no worries. Ooh, I love that. I don't know why I enjoyed that so much. No hurries, no worries. It's like a delicious drink that you just served me. I appreciate that. No hurries, no worries. You're the best. I'm not being sarcastic when I say that. Short sample Wildcat would increase the appetite of readers. Yeah, yeah. Do, I guess, do the whole shebang, like, like if it's like 4 or 5 pages or something, and color it and letter it and all that stuff. Yeah, I like that train of thought. But anyway, yeah, you've given me food for thought here. But I'm sorry I've been a bit of a bummer. I just don't feel good. I don't feel good physically. I don't know what's wrong. If you were to say I'm fat, it's probably true, or fatter, I should say that, or maybe my cardio's lacking. Maybe I've got like COVID 21 in me or something. Who knows? I don't know. I really don't. Maybe it's just old age catching up. Maybe it's all of the above or some of the above. Who knows? It's really got me bummed out. And it's getting up early in the mornings when I'm not used to it. It's something else. And I don't know, man. I don't know. And then one other thing, since I'm lamenting here or whatever it is, this Wildcat stuff's got me a little bit bummed out because I need to figure out how I'm going to put this together. I got it in my head. I don't want to say too much to ruin it, but it's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool imagery. I really love this stuff of him being pulled into the grave. And the first, well, I guess I can show you. Why not? Let's see how much. I got 7% left, so I should be able to do it. Where are we at here? So in the original Wildcat comic that I had drawn, inked, and colored, I just needed to letter it. The story starts off with this girl running in the forest, and she's running away from these local goons. Okay, it's an old, forgotten graveyard type of forest. So I thought that the Fox girl kind of hijacked the comic, and I wanted to kind of change that. So I kind of sketched out the first new couple of pages of the Wildcat comic, and you actually get to see him getting murdered roughly 10, 20 years ago. So this is like a flashback. So if this was a movie, it would be like 1989 or 1990 or something like that. And there's these 5 mysterious people. It's killing them, and they basically tricked him into ingesting uranium, which they probably got from the Russians. And the reason is he's very hard to kill, and he has a healing factor. And by him ingesting the uranium, it basically just killing him from the inside out. And they got like instruments of death, and I'm not too high on the top layout. There he is coughing up blood, guy with a chainsaw. And you can't really tell this is his back, but he's kind of whatever, guy with a chainsaw. And there's a guy, I don't know what my obsession is with chainsaws, but here's a axe. But I do love this. I love this transition. Here's a guy's body. He's examining his axe, and he lifts it up in the air, and that's badass right there. And then I love this. You can't really tell, but there's like blood splatter going up on the side of this guy's head that I'm going to put in there. And he takes another whack, so he's putting the axe behind his head, and then more blood splatter close up on his face. And then you see the heap of Wildcat's body there. And then, a couple more pages showing, a bunch of Wildcat mayhem. That's a secret project I'm working on. More secret stuff. But anyway, it unfolds into this, at some point. And my thinking is this is what's going to help make those hands come out of the grave. And so a lot of that stuff has got me a little bummed out, trying to figure out putting it all together where it makes sense, and because I don't want to just throw stuff in just because it looks cool. It's got to make sense. I can't drop stuff in on the audience just because it looks cool. There has to be a writing logic to it, and it has to move the story further too, and keep moving it forward. So anyway, I appreciate everybody tuning in and everything. I wish you as much love and peace and happiness and to this wacky doodle world that we live in. And I hope whatever projects you're working on, they're successful. And even if you don't work on any projects and you just like to read comics, I hope you find most excellent comics to read. Regardless, have fun, be good. Thank you to all my royal, loyal, faithful, and true crew for everything that you do for me. And as always, this is, if I can cue up my thing, CB Small with the greatest of all time, undisputed, unchallenged. It's true. Maybe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.